Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Back to it. Looks like the rain stopped. I'm supposed to have a sunny few days, so I'm back out in the yard doing work, getting stuff planted. Got more carrots to do. Just couldn't do it all on Saturday. I want you to go back to the first things that you bought when you were a prepper. When you woke up one Saturday morning and go, you know what, honey, I think we need to put some food back. And you went to the grocery store or Walmart or Costco or wherever you went, and probably the very first things you bought were bags of rice and dried beans, right? Rice and beans. We've all heard it. I mean, it's almost a running joke in prepping. If you don't have rice and beans, you aren't a prepper. If you don't think there's a war being staged or waged against us by the global communists, the World Economic Forum, whatever one of their arms that they use, be it the IMF or the World Bank or the EU or the White House or whatever, you're sadly mistaken. Okay. I mentioned rice and beans, and I'm going to give you this. The world has a population right around 8 billion people, right? I think we just crossed that maybe a month or so ago. For more than half of the world's population, rice is part of a regular diet. For about 3.5 billion people, nearly half, rice is a staple food. Okay, it's the primary source of food in which they have. The World Bank has recently issued a report that rice is now responsible for, partially responsible for, get this, climate change. We shouldn't be growing rice, or we need to change it. Let's put this together. Let's take climate change, world depopulation, and a food crisis all together. They're now saying that the rice farmers, which there are more than 150 million of them worldwide, are now contributing to climate change. Their study says rice is responsible for 10% of global methane emissions, and as much as, and in some regions, as much as 33% of the methane emissions. And I'll give you this: if you know how rice is grown, it's kind of like cranberries, right? Rice is grown in, for all intents and purposes, swampland, right? I mean, it's anaerobic; it's in the water. You don't have to water your rice, you're growing it in the water. So you have anaerobic decomposition, which occurs because you harvest the rice, you have all the rice straw, which then is in the water, and it decomposes, and the decomposition process releases methane, okay? Rice has been farmed in the world since, I don't know, at the beginning of humanity. But I want you to look at this. Where are a lot of the rice farms? Sure, we have some in California here. Arkansas is big in the United States, etc. But the majority of the world's rice farms are in Southeast Asia, okay? Vietnam, China, Indonesia, all this, okay? Again, they want to talk about climate change. We're releasing too much CO2 into the air. We're releasing too much methane in the air. Yada, yada, yada. We've got to stop this. We've got to stop this. Yet, and again, I'm going to use their figures. 25 to 33% of the methane comes from rice. Okay? Well, maybe we should get rid of the rice farmers. Bunch of CO2 comes from coal plants. But, gee, we'll just let China build, 100 new coal-fired power plants they're building this year? We can't. We've got to go to all these idiotic solar vehicles and all this sort of stupid stuff. What are these people? I mean, are they that clueless to think that the rest of us don't see You got a problem, take it to where the problem is. Okay? The Chinese coal plants. You want to stop global warming? Stop the Chinese. Until then, shut up. Okay? Now you're going to go after rice farmers, okay, that nearly half the world's population exists on it. Gee, I don't know. Maybe are you trying to starve the people out? I mean, seriously, stop growing rice. Tell the entire Asian diet revolves around rice. You're not going to stop it. Okay, if you even try, you're idiotic. So that's what's going on with that one. I mean, which is just stupid. They want to change the way they produce rice and do different. I mean, mind you, the people that are growing growing rice aren't out there with big John Deere tractors and everything like that. They're poor farmers that go out and do this by hand, okay, and have for centuries. It's not like you're going to come in and go, well, gee, if you put in all this methane capturing equipment and everything, how would that be possible? Oh, I don't know. You'd have to have huge investors, say Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, Prince King Charles. Still can't accept that. Are they going to go in and, well, you know what? We'll let you continue farming your rice. You just work for me now. Do you see where this is all going? They're trying to shut everything down in the name of their fictitious climate change. Your energy, your food, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. You want to know, you think it's silly. I mean, like I said, they're trying to shut down your energy. Have you seen the latest thing California is trying to do? Not with rice, okay? California power companies are now proposing to bill their electricity customers not by how much they use alone, but by how much they make. If you make more money, your charge per kilowatt hour will be higher. If you make less money, your charge per kilowatt hour will be less. You both could use 100 kilowatt hours, let's say in a day or month or however long it takes you to use it. Joe, unemployed liberal, drinking his lattes and watching his video game videos and collecting whatever stimulus check that he gets from Biden. Well, he would pay a lesser rate than Joe goes to work every day, feeds his family, owns a house, yada yada. He'd pay more. They'd both use 100 kilowatt hours. But the first guy'd pay a lot less than the second guy. Not based on usage, based on his income. You don't think that this might turn into people going, I mean, first off, it's completely anti-capitalist, okay? But you don't think that this is going to start changing how people, you know what? I'm going to put the electricity in my dog's name. Dog doesn't have a job. My kid's name. Kid doesn't have a job. I'll put it in my wife's name. We'll file separate tax returns. She has no income, whatever it would be. You don't think that's going to happen? Some of these ideas that these lunatics come up with, it's like, this is why we prep, guys. They're trying to stop the rice production. They want to stop the rice production in the world. They want to stop you from being able to afford electricity. Why? Because then it all comes, well, come into our little 15-minute cities, the Gatesville or the Zuckerberg. We'll feed you. We have air conditioning here. Come live here. We'll give you your 8x10 apartment where you can have a bed and a phone charger. That's all you need, because all you have to do is go downstairs to the Gates cafeteria and we'll feed you all the bug burgers you can eat. Pinball out.